Time cannot always heal wounds. It can only hide them under ashes from which something new can grow again. In this world where every day is a struggle, betrayal becomes a disease from which there is no escape. But revenge. Revenge is not the way, but only the echoes of the past that return with every step. On the brink of despair, true strength is born, not in weapons, but in spirit. Do you want to know what it means to lose everything and find yourself again? This path is not for the weak. Kanato, renouncing his past, enters the battle not for revenge, but to find light in this dark void. He gains the strength to change the course of history. But can one man stand against the entire world? Join Kanato on this journey. Support us as we follow him and learn what true fortitude means. Subscribe, like, and share this video. Your support is the power that helps us continue to create stories like this. Evening. The Indian village of Kanato on the steppe. The sun is slowly sinking below the horizon. The sky is colored in shades of gold and purple. Birdsong, the sound of windmills. Silence and peace. Kanato returns to his village, tired from the day's hunting. In his hands he carries his prey, fresh deer meat. He walks along narrow paths, surrounded by carved wooden statues and yurts. On his way, he meets friendly smiles and greetings.
Mala, did you set the potion as I asked?
I did, and I've gathered some new herbs. Talak said it should be added to the supper. He must be dreaming of becoming as dexterous as you.
Daddy, I want to learn to hunt too. I'll be able to bring meat like you.
You will definitely learn. But right now you must teach yourself to be strong in spirit. Dexterity and strength are only the beginning.
Silence. Suddenly, a loud gunshot sounds in the distance. Kanato is alarmed, raising his head.
What was that?
Something is wrong.
He walks quickly and determinedly towards his house, but his heart is already heavy. The sound of gunfire grows louder and louder. Only when he is almost approaching his yurt, a new, louder sound reaches his ears. The clang of weapons. Panic grips the village. Suddenly, white horsemen, mercenaries with weapons, appear out of the mist. Kanato runs out into the central square. His heart races as he sees a group of white soldiers armed with muskets and sabers burning yurts. Against them are only a few brave men of the tribe, but they cannot prevail. Unarmed heroism and poorly trained men are unable to stop the well-armed enemies. Kanato sees John Marshall, a man he considered a friend, and a brother not by blood, but by life. He refuses to believe his eyes.
John, you betrayed us?
You're too trusting, Kanato. This world isn't built on friendship. It's built on gold. You should have realized that, but you've been living in dreams for too long.
John gestures to his soldiers. They raise their weapons. The crunch of bones can be heard on one side as they demolish old men and children, and on the other, the screams of women fleeing in fear.
You will not have this. I will not let you destroy my people.
He tries to break through, but the soldiers intercept him. They beat him until he is unconscious from the blows. Mala and Talak run towards the forest, trying to escape the attack.
Mala, Talak, run.
Kanato awakens amidst ashes and charred remains. His eyes are wide open with horror. All around him is a destroyed village. His family is gone. His body is weak from blood loss, but his soul burns with rage and bitterness. He sees the flames going up in the center of the village. The soldiers walk away, leaving their footprints in the dirt and ash. All that is left in the smoke and ash are corpses, darkness, and destruction. When Kanato gets to his feet, he sees the mutilated bodies of his men. In his eyes is emptiness and endless pain. As he makes his way through the ruins, he suddenly notices his wife's necklace rolling on the ground, caught in the wind. It is the last reminder of her life that he has taken as a keepsake. Kanato picks it up, but his hands shake with grief. In that moment, he loses the remnants of his courage. Before he disappears into the darkness, he takes one last look at his ruined life, realizing that his world has changed forever. Kanato wanders the empty steps, his footprints disappearing in the sand and the wind consuming his loneliness. He has become even more rigid, cold, and wary. His clothes are torn, his face is haggard, but his eyes are determined. He hides from his pursuers and never stops. He kills animals just to survive. He has no attachment to anything. There is no joy or pain in his life. He becomes a shadow. But one day, after many years, a new target appears in his path. He hears screams. A woman escapes from the bushes and runs across the steppe, her hair developing in the wind, and beside her are two children, a little girl and a boy. They are running from 3 bounty hunters. Without hesitation, Kanato enters the fray. It's a life-and-death fight on a dusty road under the blazing sun. He quickly and decisively kills one of the mercenaries, and the other 2, frightened, begin to retreat. But Kanato grabs one of them by the chest.
Why are you hunting these children?
He grabs a knife and throws it at the ground in front of him before answering.
They are no better than their parents. Only children. Always dragging the same thing behind them.
Kanato restrains himself and lets him go without killing him. He looks at the woman, who is standing a little to the side.
Are they yours?
They're my children. Yeah, I can't hide anymore. My husband was a traitor, and now they want to take them. Take them to get back the gold he stole.
Laura, trembling with fear, still can't believe her luck. Kanato, after he has destroyed the pursuers, remains motionless, watching them from the heights of his inner cold world. He has always been alone. Now, however, his actions are directed at other people's lives, other people's fates. He can feel this change in him causing anxiety.
How can I ever thank you? I don't know how. I didn't ask you to interfere, but you saved us.
Her voice is shaky, but there is gratitude in it. She looks at Kanato as a savior, even though he's not looking for gratitude. He's only doing what he thinks is right.
You don't have to thank me. I do nothing for you. My actions are not for people. It's only for me.
He looks at his hand for a moment, which is still trembling from the effort, and then, disregarding her words, turns and begins to gather their belongings, quietly checking for weapons.
But you're not like those who leave us to die. Why didn't you kill us like your enemy deserves?
Kanato pauses for a moment, looking into her eyes. There is something in their sincerity that makes him wonder. He sighs tiredly and looks up at the sky again, then answers.
Anyone who dies leaves no light behind him. He becomes ashes. But those who live give light to continue the journey.
He doesn't explain his words, and Laura, seeing his hardness, realizes that they are going to meet something more than mere survival. This is more than just revenge. It is a path that leads them through death. Night comes quickly, and dark shadows begin to fill the space around them. Kanato, Laura, and the children sit around a small fire, absorbed in their silence. Laura gently places her hands on her children, cradling them close to her as if trying to warm them not only physically, but mentally as well. Kanato sits a little to the side, his gaze focused on the fire. Laura decides that now is the moment to talk. She can't stay silent any longer, and her words will weigh heavy.
My husband, I trusted him. He wasn't just a husband.
He was my friend, my support. I never thought he was capable of such a thing. But he destroyed everything we were building.
Everyone has their dark side. He chose the path of betrayal, and now you must choose yours.
At night, when the fire has died down, Kanato, Laura, and the children continue their journey through the desert. Their shadows slowly follow them, as if they themselves are becoming part of their past. Kanato thinks more and more about how he is not the same person he used to be. He is no longer looking for revenge. He is looking for a path to something new. Suddenly, they notice smoke in the distance. It could be a settlement, or it could be another squad of soldiers coming after them.
We have to move faster. If it's soldiers, they'll catch up with us.
But we need shelter at least. We can't keep going without respite.
Kanato doesn't answer. He starts packing up his things and heads in the direction opposite the smoke. Laura throws a quick glance at him and follows him. She still doesn't understand his utter determination. He has become a mystery to her, but now her life depends on him.
Have you ever thought about what happens next? If we continue like this, what are we going to do? What purpose are we pursuing?
The goal is to survive. Everything else is empty. Are you still looking for meaning along the way? It's all clear to me.
He continues walking. Laura stays in place for a second, her heart beating hard, but she can't believe he's so cold. Mala, her young daughter, looks at Kanato with curiosity, but no fear.
Mother, why is he so sad? Why doesn't he smile like other people?
He's lost a lot. Sometimes people change when they lose what they hold dear.
They continue their journey in silence, hesitant to talk about the future. After several days of travel, exhausted from the long trek, Kanato, Laura, and the children reach the edge of the desert. In the distance, the mountains loom in the distance, and in their shadow lurks a small village, a place that could be their temporary refuge, a respite from the hardships of the journey. But as they approach it, Kanato feels a strange tension in the air. It's quiet all around, but not as it should be in a safe place. As they enter the village, they are greeted by several locals. Their eyes immediately read wariness and displeasure. Kanato notices this, and his gaze becomes even more wary. He assesses the situation, but Laura, trying not to give away her excitement, approaches the village elder, and despite the tension, tries to make contact.
We are seeking refuge. We will bring you no trouble, only peace. Let us stay the night.
The village elder scrutinizes Laura and her children, then his gaze stops on Kanato. He realizes that this man is no ordinary traveler, but someone whose presence could be a threat. The elder, despite his restraint, is clearly wary.
You are a stranger here, but if your children need peace, you are welcome to stay for one night. I advise you to be careful, however. Things may not be what they seem in these parts.
Kanato casts a brief glance at the elder, his face expressing displeasure. He senses that something is not right in this village. He can't trust these people, but now is not the time for open conflict. As evening passes, Kanato can't escape the feeling that this place is hiding more than it seems. His intuition keeps him on his toes, and he decides he will be more careful. The next day, after a night's rest, Kanato and his companions continue deep into the forest. Then, as if from somewhere out of the shadow of the trees, several men appear. These are no ordinary peasants or villagers. Each of them bears ancient marks on their bodies, tattoos or symbols reminiscent of ancient heritage. Kanato instantly feels threatened.
You are here for a reason. We know who you are. You can help us.
Kanato warily assesses him and the others, his hand automatically resting on the hilt of his sword, ready for action.
Who are you, and what do you want with me?
We are the ones being pursued. You two. The forces behind them have been searching for us for a long time. We hide here in these woods because they know who we are. Our signs are our past, our history. But we're not just fighting for survival. We are ready to fight for the future.
Fight for what?
For freedom. For our land. You must realize that you are not alone in these woods. We all carry heavy burdens, and so do you. But you have a strength that could be the key. We're not asking you to join us, but if you stay, this place will become your hiding place, and perhaps your fighting place.
Kanato, despite his doubts, scrutinizes the people in front of him. He can feel the tension building, but he remains firm in his decision.
If I stay, I will only fight for my children. That's the most important thing to me.
We know you'll fight for them, but you can be more than you are. We can help each other. This isn't just a hiding place. This is the beginning of something bigger.
I understand, but I cannot follow you. My goal is to protect my children. That is the most important thing to me.
Kanato sighs, realizing that this meeting could change his life, but deep down he remains true to his goal of protecting his children. The next day, Kanato returns to the village and meets Laura. She has already sensed that her life in this place may not be as safe as she thought. When she sees him, she immediately notices a change in his demeanor. His determination and coldness have become more apparent. Kanato, despite his determination, remains reserved until they are ready to act.
Did you find out something?
You don't understand, Laura. There is something in this village that I must reveal. We can't stay here. But until they realize what I know, I will keep a low profile.
You always think of war anyway, even when there is peace here among us. But you're right. You have to understand what's going on here.
Kanato's task becomes clear. He's not just fighting for survival. He must uncover the truth and understand what these people are hiding. His path becomes even more dangerous, and his inner conflict intensifies. But deep down, Kanato realizes that it is now his duty not only to survive, but also to find the truth, destroy the lies, and free those caught up in the bloody circle. After Kanato and Laura and their children leave the village, they continue their journey along winding roads. Kanato stops often to survey the surroundings. His intuition tells him that something important lies ahead of them, but he can't figure out what it is. A few days later, they find shelter in a hidden camp in the middle of the forest. While Laura takes care of the children, Kanato decides to go exploring. Suddenly, his gaze stops on a familiar figure, and his heart beats faster. It's a man Kanato once fought with in brutal battles. When the man turns around, Kanato sees his face. He couldn't believe for a long time that this man was still alive. They have been through terrible times together, and now, upon meeting him, Kanato feels a mixture of rage and pain.
You're still alive? Why didn't you stay in that hell we created?
Yes, I am alive. But Kanato, you don't understand. You and I are on opposite sides now, and I am no longer the man I used to be.
Laura, sensing the tension, approaches Kanato, but he gestures for her to stop.
Stay out of this, Laura. It's my past, and it won't let me go.
The man casts a glance at Laura and the children, his gaze growing colder, but quickly returns to Kanato.
Your children, I see. They are your weakness now. You could never be alone.
You don't understand. My life is not for you now.
Kanato realizes that his past has caught up with him again. He and this man, as well as all others from his past, are bound by invisible threads that he needs to break if he wants to move forward and leave these shadows behind. After meeting his former comrade, Kanato feels the weight of the past hanging over him again. He returns to Laura and the children, but his eyes are still fixed in the direction where his old friend disappeared. Laura notices the change in Kanato and addresses him gently.
You still can't let them go, can you? It's all the past.
I've tried, Laura. But every time I thought I could forget, it comes back. That man, the one who was there for me in the battles. He reminded me how broken I was, how many lives I took, how many bloody decisions I made.
You don't have to answer for everything that came before us. You deserve a different life.
But how can I move forward if the shadows of the past are always with me? Those people, those decisions. They've left a mark on my soul. Every action I take is a choice I can't erase.
You can choose, Kanato. You don't have to live only for revenge. You can show your children that cruelty is not a path, but a choice of justice, so that they don't repeat your mistakes.
I know. But every time I choose not to retaliate, I feel like I lose a part of myself. And now, I must choose to continue on a path that brings destruction, or become the one to break that chain. It's not just a question of revenge. It's a question of who I want to be for myself and for them.
After days on the road, Kanato's group encounters armed men. These are not the soldiers they expected, but a group of local mercenaries working for a powerful client who has been looking for Kanato for a long time. The battle begins.
We know who you are, Kanato, and you can't hide from us. We've come for you, dead or alive.
Try to catch me.
The battle is quickly gaining momentum. Kanato and Laura fight side by side, protecting the children. Kanato feels the weight of his choices. Every move he makes seems devastating, yet he feels the power in his strikes. He fights as if he is fighting himself. The blows become more and more fierce. He can feel the old, dark past beginning to reawaken in him.
Kanato, we can't beat them all. We have to leave.
We can't run. They won't leave us alone.
Kanato continues to destroy his opponents one by one, consumed by rage. He doesn't hear Laura, doesn't see that his actions are becoming more and more violent. His mind is filled with scraps of memories of battles past, of those he has lost and those he himself has killed. Each blow brings him not only physical relief, but a deep sense of inner emptiness.
Kanato, stop. You're becoming what you're trying to run away from.
Kanato slows down, but only for a moment. He realizes that Laura is right, but he can't stop. He's seen so much pain, so much fear, and now it's all become a part of him. He sees before him not just enemies, but those terrible, dark forces that have haunted him all his life. He stabs the last mercenary, and his eyes fill not only with victory, but also with inner pain.
I can't go back.
After the battle is over, as the dust settles, Kanato stands among the bodies of his enemies. He sees one of the mercenaries who is still alive, but badly wounded. He slowly approaches him, and his face becomes cold and determined.
You will be alive, but you will be held accountable for your actions.
He decides what he will do to this man. After all, his actions demand punishment, but revenge cannot be his choice. Kanato lowers his sword and slowly looks at the mercenary, as if assessing him.
I will not kill you. You will live, but you will be punished for what you have done. We are not like them. I will not kill you for revenge. I believe in justice.
The mercenary, surprised by this decision, cannot understand how Kanato could refuse revenge. His gaze, filled with incomprehension, meets Kanato's, who firmly decides he will not continue this cycle of violence.
You will answer for your actions, but not by my hand. You will be judged as you should be. And if you have a shred of conscience, you will realize that it is not because of me that you will stay alive, but because I chose to show my children that violence does not make us strong.
He takes his eyes off the mercenary and heads towards the children who are watching him from afar. Their eyes are full of fear and bewilderment. But Kanato decides that he must be an example to them, an example not of revenge, but of truth and justice.
I don't want my children to become like us. They need to see that cruelty is not the solution. We will fight for truth and justice, not revenge.
He slowly turns back to the mercenary, his gaze still as hard. Kanato looks at the wounded man one last time, as if trying to figure out what will come of all this.
You will answer for your actions, but not by my hand. You will be judged. And I will fight not with weapons, but with what is left in my heart.
He takes a step back, and without another word, he walks away. Toward the end of their journey, Kanato and Laura and their children reach a safe place where they can start a new life. The children run beside them, playing, while Laura and Kanato stand on a hill, looking up at the rising sun that illuminates the steppe with its light. Their faces are full of fatigue, but a light of hope creeps into their eyes. They know that new challenges lie ahead, but with the confidence that they can go on.
The ashes are left in the earth, but the light is in those who live on, and that is our path.
In this story, Kanato makes his way through darkness and destruction, but despite everything, he chooses the light. He is faced with agonizing choices and the terrible consequences of his past decisions. But despite this, he decides not to follow the path of revenge, but to choose justice, showing his children that cruelty and violence are not the path to freedom. His example is a lesson not only for them, but for us as well. No one is born a hero, but each of us can choose what our path will be. Kanato taught us that even in the most dire circumstances, we can be strong not through cruelty, but through justice. He shows us that we need to be prepared for the consequences of our actions and seek redemption rather than destruction. Light in the Ashes is not only a story of loss and struggle, but also of new beginnings, and that even in the darkest of times there is room for hope. May this journey be a reminder to each of us that even when the world crumbles, there is always a chance to build something new. Kanato, Laura, and the children are symbols that one should never give up, and that light can always be found, even in the midst of the worst of trials. If you like this story, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Share your opinion in the comments. How do you find the strength to go on when it seems that everything is lost? After all, each of us encounters our own ashy moments along the way. Share this video with your friends, and may this light inspire us all to new beginnings.